Have you ever missed trauma bond and emotional conditioning? And I know that many of you may even feel ashamed for kind of admitting this to yourself. You might even feel frustrated with yourself for feeling like this, thinking maybe if you had done things differently, maybe if you had said things differently, maybe this would have changed, maybe this could have been a different outcome. But what I want you to know is that these thought processes that you are having are more common than you think. In this video, I'm going to explain, because what is going on here is that your nervous system is struggling to let go. And if you really think about it, it's not you missing them because you know, it's to do with your nervous system. So let's get into it. You're not missing the abuse, you're missing the attachment. People often confuse attachment with love. And what's happened is that your nervous system had become very dependent on this cycle, the intermittent reinforcement. I'm fully in, I'm fully out. And that's what it was. It was this seesaw. Okay, this hot and cold effect. I'm in, out, in, out. And when they were out of it or not with you emotionally, you were craving it. You stuck around because you knew that the good times were coming. You knew that things would change and that they would come back around again. So you almost lived in hope, waiting, wishing, wanting them to come back to that part of them. And also, right at the beginning of this interaction, when you first met them, they showed you a really wonderful side of them, that loving, that amazing, that side of them that was very similar to you. They also created this fantasy, okay, the fantasy that they are very similar to you, that they want the same things as you, and that you're both on this par because you're both in this and you want the same outcome for this relationship. And let's also pair that with the good moments. Of course, there were going to be good moments. I'm not saying that this whole relationship or interaction with a narcissist was bad or was negative. Otherwise, you would have left a long time ago. But there was these amazing good moments, these special moments, these moments that you don't feel that you're ever going to get with anybody else. And also that's created who you thought that they could become. There's also that part of it as well. This is what you're missing. And also the identity of you, that person that you built, the identity that you built being with this person. So there's so much that's going on here. It's not just that person leaves and that's it. There's a lot that's going on here. And also there's grief for all of those things that you thought was it, but they never really were that. Narcissistic relationships create addiction. And it's that addiction, those good moments, those good times, that's what you're wishing for. That's what you're missing. That's what you're hoping and wanting. And in some way, you know that you're never going to get that back. That person is not going to come back to being that. Your mind remembers the highs more than the emotional damage, because intermittent reinforcement conditions the brain like a slot machine. Trauma bonds will feel like withdrawal from a substance, and they are. That's how it does feel. It feels like you cannot let go of that person. Trauma bonding happens in simple terms. It's basically a cycle. You've got, right at the beginning, you've got the love bombing. You've got that version of them that is on your case. They're giving you so much attention. Someone finally sees you and it feels amazing. It feels validating. And I'm not saying that it doesn't, and I know that this is highly addictive, particularly people who have not had this ever or had very little of it. Perhaps maybe even growing up could have been that kind of an issue where you had very little validation, very little, you know, praise as a child. So now going into adulthood, when someone shows you that, you're more likely to bond to a person like that. And then of course you've got the devaluation, which is absolutely devastating. It is like, whenever, even in healthy relationships, when you have arguments and you know you're mad at one another and you've had a fight, you're upset, those times after feels like, oh my God, you know, you feel really bad. So understandably, when someone devalues you, puts you down, points out all the negative things about you, that's going to hurt you, and it's also going to hurt your ego. And then of course you've got emotional withdrawal. This is going to trigger a lot of your rejection wounds, your abandonment wounds. It's going to really trigger that. So you're going to try even harder to try and please this person. You're going to try and get this person on side. You're going to be like, oh, I'm sorry, I want to do so much for you, I want this relationship to work. So you're going to bend over backwards to basically please this person. So at that point, that's what you're craving, is the reconnection to the person. And that's what they're doing, they're pulling away. And then eventually the reconnection does happen. So what happens is that the brain becomes chemically addicted to this cycle and unpredictable validation. So you don't know when the next time this is all going to blow up and you're going to go into this cycle with this person. So you're trying your best, you're doing everything that you can to be the best version of you, and you don't want to upset them, and suddenly out of nowhere, just like that, they blow up and they go. And this is the issue. This is the cycle that repeats itself all over again, because every stage of this cycle does not last forever. If they're being great, that's not going to last. If they're devaluing you, it's not going to last. The reconnection to that person, that's also not going to last. None of it is permanent. So there is a lot of inconsistency, unpredictability, which causes you to bond to that person. Going no contact can also feel like detox, because in a way it is. It's very hard at first, but after, when you have completed all of that, the whole kind of the program of detox, you feel better again. Missing someone doesn't mean that they necessarily were healthy for you. It just means that you were trapped or caught up in this cycle. And we will go through this. We will miss this person, even though we know that this person isn't good for us. And I know that it is very sad. I know that it's very upsetting that we feel like this. And I know a lot of us question it, like, oh my God, is there something wrong with me? No, there isn't nothing wrong with you. Missing someone is a normal part of human experience. And addiction and attachment can coexist as one, even when someone harms you. Your brain is trying to resolve the pain. As humans, our mind craves closure. Okay, in psychology, we understand that we work in patterns. We've got human behavior that works in patterns. Whether you're a narcissist or not, it's the same thing. It works in patterns. But for us who are non-narcissistic, we crave closure. We want to know that, okay, this happens then, this happens that, and we want someone to explain that to us. It's very difficult for a human being to understand, like, the cutting, the end, you know, an abrupt end. It's very difficult to try and move on because we don't have understanding why that has happened. So for us, it's very difficult to make sense of it, which is why we crave it, which is why we want it, which is why a lot of us tend to reach out to them, not because we want to get back to them, but because we want to understand why. I think for a lot of us, we understand that it is the end of the relationship, but we want to understand, like, hold on a minute, like, what's going on here? Why are you being like this to me? Humans, well, we naturally try to fix confusion. We don't want any loose ends tied, like, we want to tie up loose ends. Sorry, that's what I was supposed to say. We want to tie up loose ends. We don't want to be, you know, in the dark. We don't want to know, we want to know where we stand. We don't want it to be kind of up in the air, in limbo, suspended, not knowing what the outcome is. So for us, it's very important that we have a beginning, middle, and an end. And so what happens, a lot of us survivors end up staying stuck. because for this reason. We replay memories, trying to look for little contradictions, trying to look for things that maybe we have missed in that relationship or towards the end of the relationship, trying to understand and make sense of this. And that's what I'm exactly saying. Cognitive dissonance keeps you stuck. How could someone that loves me hurt me so deeply and then go silent on me? How can someone do all these things to me and then just leave like nothing has happened and not explain things to me? The brain will search for answers because uncertainty feels psychologically unsafe. My friends, if you are in this at the moment, please know that I do have a 30-day trauma bond reset. Please see the description box below. This is to help you understand the trauma bond, to move past it. This isn't just another workbook. This is for you to understand exactly what is going on, to help you level up your mindset and think of this differently. This is a psychologically backed workbook for you to have at any time. And it also, you can do this in 30 days. Please see the description box below for more details. Also, you've got to understand that the narcissist became part of your identity. Toxic relationships slowly consume your identity, your routines, your emotions, your self-worth. You become linked to them. That's what they do. They take over. And after the breakup, well, there's this emotional void. Missing them will mean missing familiarity, missing routine, missing the emotional intensity. And so what happens, chaos can become familiar for the nervous system. And because the nervous system gets used to this, it's like your nervous system becomes addicted to it. It wants it. When you don't have it, it's a bit weird. And when you got to think of it, like when you've been stuck in this mindset, on this level for so long, you crave it. It's because it's your norm, it's your baseline. Loneliness will make your memory selective. When you feel lonely, the brain will romanticize the past. I know. Tell me about it. Our mind is not our friend. But this is what happens from a psychological perspective. Your mind, you're basically going to miss them. You're going to romanticize them because you feel lonely, because you haven't got someone else. There is a void. There is an emotional void. And it's uncomfortable. It's really uncomfortable. And you want to fill it. You have to remember the affection, the chemistry, the potential. But what happens here is you actually minimize the anxiety, the walking on eggshells, the way that they spoke to you, the emotional exhaustion, the way that they made you feel, how nasty they were. We forget about all of that and we start to romanticize them. And what I always say to my clients is this, okay? This is a writing exercise, and I always do this. If you have been my clients, you'll know this exercise. I will encourage you to journal, to write down, get 2 separate pieces of paper. And on one piece of paper, you write at the top why you miss them, or why. And I really want you to write down why you miss this person. What is it about them that you loved? What is it about them that is unreplaceable? And then on the other sheet of paper, I want you to title it The Truth, okay? And in that, I want you to write down exactly that, the truth. What actually happened? What you went through. And every time that you romanticize them, every time that you wished that they were there to help you, or they were there to explain or give you closure, refer to that piece of paper that says the truth, because that is going to help you understand. Missing them does not mean that you've got to return to them. Healing is learning to separate love from anxiety. Emotional pain will fade when truth is consistently fed. So my friends, I really hope that this video has helped. If it has resonated, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.